Thanks for joining today. My name is Rich Renner from OneSource Integrations, and we'll be discussing Neptune and Network CI for network emulation. So let's say that I had a set of virtual routers that I wanted to orchestrate into a topology and run a few example commands. How difficult is that today with physical hardware? Could take quite a while. Hopefully, we'll be able to demonstrate to you that in under 5 minutes, that is possible with our new platform. So once I log in, I'm prompted with a few different tabs to my left. I have organizations and topologies, two that we'll be looking at in closer detail. I logged in with my Google OSI account, so I'm already in the OSI organization, but if I have the desire to create other organizations for particular projects or training examples, I could do so and add the people that needed to be added to that project. A topology is a definition of exactly what we are looking to do. This is where we can create virtual router topologies either from existing templates, which can be, again, pre-canned training exercises, demos, and several other example topologies. And then you have the option of deploying under your private, meaning just you as a user, or your larger organization to share those resources amongst several team members. So I'm just going to create a simple demo and I'll share it with the team. So this space is where I'll define what the names and types of routers and how they're connected are. So let's start with router 1, and we'll just use the default CSR router. Let's also put a Cumulus switch in here. How about a load balancer as well? And I'll go ahead and replicate the same thing on the other side, but with a Cisco switch instead of Cumulus. And we want to firewall this section off. And finally, we want some traffic so that we can tell how good of a job we did in our configs. Okay, perfect. So now I can start adding links by selecting the source device and then the destination device for a link, so on and so forth. So I'll save that topology. In this particular case, I don't have any special ZTP provisioning scripts or any callbacks to provisioning systems that I'd like to take advantage of. But in this screen is where I set those types of settings which are on a per topology basis. So say that I want to test out a new zero-touch provisioning process. This script box here is where I'd be able to apply that config across as many routers as I chose for a particular topology. Additionally, I'd like to export the JSON for this topology. So that I can make changes later on. Okay, so let's go ahead and let this topology deploy. And while we're waiting on the deployment, we can take a look at this JSON structure. So as you can see, a lot of the devices that we have created are named exactly the same in this JSON structure. Their node type is exactly the same that we selected in our dropdown. So it's pretty straightforward to understand once you take a look at it. Now let's say that I wanted to add several more servers beneath my load balancer. Server 1 is who's connected, so that is ID 6. We'll need that information here in just a moment. So ID 7 will be server 2. And I can see that the load balancer is ID 3. So my link connection should be between 6 and 3. And I believe that is this one here. And now what I want to do is replicate this at the end of my links. And change my target to 7 and my link ID to 7. So now I could take this JSON tree and make a post through the API to either view this topology, or if I have an automated system, post that through the API and never log into the UI. Each of these things are possible. So while we were doing that, looks like we received our email, which has the internal lab VPN, my username and password, and the credentials that I defined for each device as well as their IP. In this case, I left them as default, but each one is customizable. So anyway, thanks for joining. Next time, we'll look at how we can use the API to generate topologies and run ping sweeps and other testing frameworks on top of them. Thanks.